All right, gentlemen. Watch the back of the heads. Watch the low blows. Touch gloves if you want. Go back to corners.
Aladdin Martinez, our center referee, as Karakhanyan was walking out to the cage. Martinez actually called in one of the commission members here and just got him to check that cut over the eye of Din Thomas. They got the nod of approval. But speaking to Karakhanyan's management earlier today, they did say they are going to go after it. They're going to try and push him against the cage and open it up with an elbow. Michael Chevello, Pat Miletich with you. Thomas comes in at plus 200. Karakhanyan the favourite at minus 280. Outside leg kicks from Karakhanyan early.
That's the way you take the jab from somebody. They flick that jab out, you chop that lead leg.
Din Thomas needs to keep his left glove glued to his face.
Smart move by Karakhanyan there. He went for that choke, and right when Dean let go of his leg and started to get wrist control, he popped his hips back out and jumped back down to his feet. Good awareness.
Overhook on that right arm from Georgie Karakhanyan.
Dean doing a great job of lifting that underhook. Very important.
Karakhanyan, who also holds a 1-0 professional boxing record. Needs to look out for the submissions of Din Thomas. Is a brown belt in jiu-jitsu himself. Georgie Karakhanyan. Left hook to the jaw. There's a glancing right hand to that area just above the left eye where the cut is.
Din's got to be very careful going for that body shot. Good job getting in, but his defense was a little low and almost got clipped.
Jumping front kick, Remy Bonjaski style there from Karakhanyan. Din drops the right hand to the breadbasket. And again, then loops upstairs. He's dropping his left now. Karakhanyan a chance to come over the top with the right. Shoots in, Karakhanyan goes for a single. Puts Din Thomas on his back, and Din Thomas closes the guard.
Beautiful job. Snatch the single, run the pipe, spin that angle, and dump Din. Didn't even admit it. His wrestling is not great.
Karakhanyan did say that if the fight goes to ground, he'll try and work his leg locks. They're a specialty of his. He did say as long as the fight was standing, he'd throw a lot of leg kicks, head kicks, work the knees. Certainly has done that so far, with under 3 minutes remaining here in the first round of 3.
Going after that cut with that right hand.
Overhooking the right arm. Din Thomas not allowing Karakhanyan to get it for 3 and throw it to that cut over the left eye. From the posture of Karakhanyan.
Yeah, Karakhanyan's got to be careful down here. Din Thomas has a black belt under Ricardo Laborio, one of the best.
See, Karakhanyan wants to open up with that right. Oh, smack bang to the kisser. And Din Thomas does a quick count of his teeth. Tries to get to his feet, fails. And back inside the guard goes Karakhanyan.
Karakhanyan's got great ground and pound, showing a lot of power here.
Riding a 6-fight winning streak, Georgie Karakhanyan. Managed by Mike Kogan, who is newly announced manager now of Nick Diaz and Nate Diaz, among many others, including Roy Nelson. Hammering away just above that cut there, Karakhanyan needs to lower that hammer fist. He lowers the elbow. That's the sweet spot.
That's the only hand he's throwing. He's looking to get that cut.
Close guard from Din Thomas. 1:35 left on the clock. Thomas relaxed. See, Karakhanyan tries to get that right hand to the cut once more.
I believe, is that a separate cut or is that the same cut?
I believe it's a separate cut. It looks on the hairline of Thomas.
Yeah.
The one above his eye hasn't opened up yet. They've done a good job of it in the corner, making sure it's vased up nicely. As Pat said, they did crazy glue it over the last week, but it did open up yesterday during the weigh-ins. 1 minute remains now in the first round. Karakhanyan there trying to fillet that cut.
Those are bordering on 12-6. He's doing a little bit of an angle there, getting away with it.
Din glances towards his corner. What are you telling Din Thomas at the moment, Pat?
Well, try and get back up, because if he's going to go for a submission, he's probably not going to get the first attempt. He's going to have to be able to chain submissions together to catch this guy, because he's real good, real sneaky at getting into the first one.
Din Thomas stands up, can throw some salvos under half a minute remaining here in the first. A cut on the hairline of Thomas, and Karakhanyan looking very composed. Body shot from Din Thomas. Scoops that one down to the liver.
Long arms, he can throw that liver shot from a long ways away.
Oh, Karakhanyan gets tagged, short left and a popping right hand. High right round kick from Karakhanyan. Overhand right from Karakhanyan. Step through knee, misses the target, so too the looping right. 1 round down. Ready to roll, second round of action. Karakhanyan, hands on hips, takes a deep breath. The cut over the eye of Din Thomas has not opened up yet. 10-9 Karakhanyan first round, says Pat Miletich. Counter to the leg kick there. There's the right hand from Din Thomas.
Din showed at the end of that first round he can use his reach to pick at Karakhanyan and possibly outscore him standing up, but at least sell a striking game so that he can get a takedown and end up on top. I think Karakhanyan might have trouble with Din if he ends up on top of it.
And a tie kick there to the lead thigh, one to the inside thigh off the left leg from Karakhanyan. Outside leg kick, no power behind these kicks, but he's trying to set up for an effective punch over the top. Meanwhile, Din Thomas, who goes to the body with a clubbing right hand.
Din can bang. He's been around a long time, man. He knows what he's doing.
Karakhanyan overhook on that right arm. Din with a little shoulder thrust. Karakhanyan, no chance to cross an elbow at that eye at the moment. You see that Din is protecting it by putting it on the side of the head of Karakhanyan.
Yep, smart.
Pulling the knees up into the kidney area there, Karakhanyan.
Din looking for that uppercut, you can see it. Karakhanyan with the Russian tie on that arm, looking to follow up.
You see immediately Din puts his head on the opposite side to protect that eye. And once more, puts the left eye to the left side of Karakhanyan's head. Karakhanyan drops down now, looking for a double leg.
Din smart, spreading those legs as wide as he can.
Karakhanyan wants Din on his back where he can work some ground and pound. Not happening at the moment. The veteran puts him against the cage. Kicks that left eye into the chest. Not making it a target for Karakhanyan.
I sense Din wants to push off in the flurry.
Karakhanyan, very relaxed, not overexerting himself, not throwing anything silly.
Yeah, twice now Karakhanyan's reached up for Din's head. I'm waiting for Din to hit that duck under.
Knee coming, high one, trying to lop his ear off to no avail. Muay Thai clinch again here. And then the overhook on that arm once more from Karakhanyan.
Yeah, showing his flexibility there. That knee came up very high.
Muay Thai clinch again from Karakhanyan, trying for the meet and greet knee.
Din defending well, nice in. Hey, beautiful.
Double leg gets a takedown, Din Thomas. And here's the leg lock game that Karakhanyan talked about.
Now Din knows leg locks. I'm surprised he's not hunting Karakhanyan's leg too. Yeah, he's got it now. There we go.
Karakhanyan wants to move to a position where he can affect some ground and pound now. Look to get that right hand free, and immediately you see Din Thomas just lock it down.
Din Thomas showing when somebody hunts your leg, the best time to go for their leg is during that period, because a lot of guys forget about it. But Karakhanyan doing a good job defending also.
Din throws the legs up. He's hoping that Karakhanyan would leave an arm in there.
Yeah, and he was looking for that sweep. He went to snatch the ankle and looked for some sort of tip or sweep, but wasn't able to follow up.
A very intriguing fight to watch here. Din Thomas using every trick in the book to protect that damaged left eye. He came into the fight with a decent cut over, and he clips Karakhanyan with the right hand. Seems to ignite the little Russian.
Nice double leg, run him over on that one.
And control the posture of Karakhanyan. Close guard here from Din Thomas.
Din, over all the years, has had trouble with guys who could out-wrestle him. Been beaten by guys that can take him down.
15 seconds on the clock, second of 3. Karakhanyan looks like he may have opened up the cut a little now over the left eye. Still hasn't got that clean right hand or the clean right elbow he'd so hoped for. And we're going into the third round.
Little leg lock game. There's Karakhanyan hunting the leg of Din Thomas. Din decides, hey, you're going to go for mine, I'm going to hunt yours. Gets that leg over. That's the leverage point that you need. You've got to get that foot on the hip. Karakhanyan's battling to get that foot off his hip. He finally gets it off and comes back on top of Din Thomas. Both these guys know what they're doing with leg locks.
2018, says Pat Miletich to Georgie Karakhanyan after 2. It is all for the veteran Din Thomas. 2 in the third round. Third and final. Karakhanyan prowling back and forth. Let's see what tricks Din Thomas has up his sleeve now.
Din's got to open up here. That round could have gone either way. Technically, I think Karakhanyan might have done enough to win it.
Big outside thigh kick, chops down on a 45-degree trajectory, which is how you want to be throwing leg kicks. You don't want to go horizontal. You need to cut down on a diagonal. And again from Karakhanyan. Goes to the inside thigh.
You know, it's nice you mentioned 45-degree angles. Human body does not deal well with 45s. Nice.
Karakhanyan smiles, says, yep, you got me with that one.
I'm surprised Din didn't pounce on him there.
You can never rule out Din Thomas. Always has so many options available. Dig to the body. Hook to the head, straight right hand. Nice combination, the old 3-2 kangaroo. Circles off to his right. Din Thomas does have a 3-inch reach advantage with the legs. But at the moment, it's the shorter Karakhanyan getting into kicking range.
Din doing well in the boxing category, and Karakhanyan's rear leg. And he wants to throw it hard, man. That thing comes smoking through.
Karakhanyan, a lot of movement here from him. Goes up high, trying for the decapitator.
Nice fake, drop the head level, and then throw the kick over the top.
Beautiful teep kicks here to the lead thigh. Overhand right, real bolo punch. Karakhanyan oozing confidence. Again, the kick to the inside of the knee. Known in Muay Thai as a Thai pub night. Body shot there from Din Thomas.
I think Din hurt his right hand there, hit the elbow, I think, of Karakhanyan.
Din hunting after the body. Looking for the solar plexus of Karakhanyan. You hit the solar plexus, you hit that phrenic nerve, which controls the diaphragm. So a good shot to the solar plexus just stresses the phrenic nerve, makes it hard to breathe.
Anybody ever done that to you?
Yeah, what happens when we get winded? Happened to me in junior schools.
It's always fun.
Yeah. Thomas on the front foot here. It's just past the halfway point of the final round. Left hook and a scooping body shot from Thomas. Karakhanyan continues to be mobile here. Body shot from Thomas.
It grazed off an arm and then shot low, so it was not deliberate. Didn't got to pick it up here though.
Body shot from. Oh, and a liver shot there from Din Thomas. Hit that right side of the body around the floating ribs, the 9th and 10th ribs. Impact the vagus nerve. Took the body into shutdown mode. Not in the case there of Karakhanyan. Top position here against Thomas. 1:35 on the clock.
Karakhanyan got to pick it up here. He wants to get in the UFC. He better do more than this. Very talented guy, but he's got to open up.
Is Karakhanyan going to allow Din Thomas to stand here? Like riding a bicycle on your back. And the veteran springs back to his feet. Flicking front kick, a punt kick there. Not a true front kick. Muay Thai clinch here from Karakhanyan, shrugs him off with the right hand.
That one opened the cut.
Cagey veteran Din Thomas, and I believe that Karakhanyan's camp actually thought they'd have an easier time of it tonight than what they had.
Never get an easy fight out of Din Thomas unless you catch him early on.
Tracks away again to the outside thigh. Common peroneal nerve that the likes of Ernesto Houston, Andy Sauer love to strike. Just above the knee joint. And again, the kick that Ernesto Houston really was the master of in K1. Can cause a temporary loss of motor control of the leg. That's what Karakhanyan is doing here. Right hand from Din Thomas, another right hand between the eyes. Trying for a final flurry, the veteran.
Would like to have seen more out of Din like that.
And there it is. 3 rounds of action. We go to the judges, and it should be a decision here for Georgie Karakhanyan.
Great fight for Karakhanyan to gain a lot of experience there. Both guys showing a lot of respect for each other, but Karakhanyan, that's an invaluable lesson when you're fighting a guy with that much experience like Din Thomas.
Great sportsmanship being shown there. Good look at the cut of the eye of Din Thomas. It only opened up late in the third. It lasted a lot longer than even we thought, Pat.
Yeah. Yeah, did a great job. You were mentioning it the whole fight. He did a great job protecting it throughout the fight.
Nice to see Legacy 19 trending on Twitter at the moment. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Access TV Fights, at Pat Miletich, at Chabello Voice. There's Mike Kogan, who is becoming quite the Ari Gold of mixed martial arts management. If you've got your iPad, your iPod, your iPhone, your anything, you should have our Fight Companion app on there. If you don't, do download it. Our Access TV Fight Companion app, where 51% of you believe Will Campuzano will come through with the goods and retain his title. Earlier tonight, most people were picking Alan Nascimento. Favour has swung to Campuzano, but only by 2%. 51 versus 49 for that main event still to come. Do you have Din Thomas? Do you have Georgie Karakhanyan for this one. Seem to be some mixed reactions on Twitter at the moment. One of our cage side journalists leading it 2-1, 2 rounds to 1 in favour of Din Thomas. And I believe it will go the way of Karakhanyan, but it will be close. Din Thomas's striking was excellent, landed a lot with his hands, beautiful dipping body shots. But as Pat said, just too little too late at the end when he went for that final flurry in the closing 20 seconds or so, and he landed that right hand between the eyes of Karakhanyan. You had to think to yourself, oh, if only you'd done that a little earlier and a little more often. After much tabulating cage side, we now have the official decision. Let's go to Colin Cantrell.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for both these high-level fighters that put it on exhibition for you tonight. We go to the judges' scorecard, where 2 judges score the fight 30-27, and 1 judge scores the fight 29-28. All 3 for your winner by unanimous decision, Georgie Insane Karakhanyan.